Hello and welcome to Transfer Talk episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about some of the latest developments in the transfer window over the last couple of days, including rumours about Ayoze Perez and Andre Gomes. So first of all, Calcio Napoli 24 reported yesterday that Tottenham are one step away from signing Ayoze Perez. It is believed they put in a bid of £24.5 million, which Newcastle turned down. The newspaper reported that the bid was £2 million below the release clause for Ayoze Perez. Now, you don't know what to believe in the media with all the rumours that are going around all the time, especially about Tottenham, but that does sound like something that Daniel Levy would do. Perez had a really good season at Newcastle, especially towards the end of the season. He had a great run of form where he scored consistently and got his first hat-trick for the club. Throughout the season, he played 37 times, scoring 12 goals and registering 2 assists. He had a great variety in his goals, scoring 4 headers, 6 with his right foot and 2 with his left foot. He had a 33% goal involvement ratio for Newcastle and a shot conversion rate of 22%. Now, that mightn't sound like a very impressive stat, but I looked into some of the top strikers in the Premier League, and his conversion rate was way better than many of the strikers. For example, Kane's conversion rate was only 17%, Son had 16%, Salah also had 16%, and Aguero and Hazard had 18 and 17% respectively. The only players that I could find who had a higher ratio than Ayoze Perez were Mane, Aubameyang and Vardy, 3 of the top scorers in the league. Out of possession, Perez also impressed this season. He completed 60 tackles and 42 interceptions, which is a really high return for a striker. I think if it is true that we are looking into signing him, I'd be really happy to see him join the club. He's a great player, he's fast, he's clinical, and as his stats show, he's really good out of possession. However, for £28 million, which is what Newcastle are apparently asking for, I don't know if he'd be the best choice. For that amount of money, there are a lot of more experienced, better players that we could sign. I mean, if we can get someone with Champions League experience, or maybe experience at a higher level in domestic leagues, they might be a better option for us. Another player that we're supposedly being linked to is Andre Gomes. Now, you might remember last summer we were linked to him on deadline day. It was a kind of a tug of war between us and Everton as to who was going to sign him. But the way it worked out in the end, Barcelona wanted to loan him out, whereas we were looking to purchase, and he ended up going to Everton on loan for 12 months. Already in this window, Josep Bartomeu, the Barcelona president, has said that Barcelona are looking to sell as they try and rebuild their squad. Like, the signings they're making are really good, but they're looking to sell on some of their older players and some of their fringe players as well. I do think Andre Gomes falls into that category, and he had a really good season at Everton. He impressed in the first 6 months of the season when Everton were struggling and they were failing to live up to their expectations. And especially towards the end of the season when they kind of started to hit form and they had that good run at Goodison Park, they beat United, Arsenal, Chelsea. Gomes played a very big part in that, and he was a really impressive player orchestrating the midfield, both in and out of possession. He impressed. He has played for Benfica and Valencia before signing for Barcelona, and he was part of Portugal's 2016 Euro squad. Of course, went on to win the trophy. I'd be really happy to see Gomes come to Spurs. In the last couple of seasons, we kind of struggled with midfield depth. When you look at players like Wanyama and Dembele when he was still there, really struggled with injuries quite a bit, and Dyer kind of fallen into that category as well this season. Sissoko and Winks have, to be fair, kind of had a free reign in the middle of the park. They've been, whenever they're fit, they've kind of been in the squad no matter what. And I think bringing Gomes in and adding that depth and a bit of competition in the middle of the pitch would, it could only do us good. And as I say, Gomes is a player who's experienced at a high level, and to play like having played at Barcelona, that can only mean good things. And I think his kind of style of play when Barcelona brought him in, it seemed like they were hoping he'd be a replacement for the likes of Xavi and Iniesta. Of course, he wasn't at their level yet, but unfortunately for him at Barcelona, it didn't quite work out. But if we can sign him, I mean, I don't see why we'd turn him down. Sky Sports reported yesterday that West Ham had an £18 million bid rejected by Barcelona for Gomes, and if that's the kind of money that clubs are valuing him at, if we can maybe add to that a bit, we might sign him £25-30 million, which is quite similar to the value that Newcastle put on Perez. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't at least try and get him in, add that extra bit of quality, experienced depth in the midfield. And if he does come in, it might be a thing where he's challenging Sissoko and Winks for the places in the midfield. But it could also be a thing where we could see Sissoko playing in a more attacking role. And if you look at his play this season, he's been so good in possession. He's been, taking on players. He's been dribbling past them. He's been causing all kinds of problems for defences. And if we can get Sissoko just improving that final ball, the final product, and have Gomes and Winks in behind him, I mean, it could be a really, really good midfield. And again, have that depth up front with Son, Lucas, Ericsson, and other players we're linked to. It could be a promising midfield for the future. Another player I want to talk about is Youri Tielemans. He's a 22-year-old Belgian midfielder who plays with Monaco, who was on loan at Leicester last season, as I'm sure you know. He had a fantastic end half season, I suppose, for Leicester. He played 13 times, scoring 3 goals and registering 4 assists. The Premier League top 6 teams such as Leicester, Everton, West Ham, and a lot of European sides are really interested in him, and deservedly so, because he had a fantastic season. In terms of passing, his stats were immense. He completed 49 passes per game, which for an attacking midfielder is a really, really good return, because he's a lot of the time trying to play those forward balls, trying to open up defences and stuff, and mainly the difficult passes to make, because it's kind of the last one where you have 4 defenders standing in front of you trying to stop you. A stat that I found really impressive was he completed 44 accurate long balls, which is about 3.5 per game for the time that he played with Leicester. And as a player who predominantly plays in that attacking midfield role, I think that's a really impressive stat, and it's something that can't really be ignored. He's just so good in possession, and he scored the goals he scored as well. They were high quality goals. And the game he played against Tottenham at Wembley, he definitely stood out as one of their main players. He was causing problems getting in behind the midfield and finding those little pockets of space in and around the defence. And out of possession as well, he's had a good season. He's completed 75 recoveries, and he boasts really good success rates in terms of tackles, aerial battles and duels as well. And as I mentioned, he's 22, but he's a really experienced player in that he's played 220 professional games. He had 139 for Anderlecht, which is the first professional team he played with, 47 for Monaco, and 21 appearances for Belgium. I think that tells you all you really need to know about him, because in that Belgian team, if you look at the players he's competing with, the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, Dries Mertens, Freire Carrasco, all challenging for the same sort of positions. And in the World Cup last summer, he was kind of a fringe player. That was that in Monaco, they've had a bad couple of seasons, that didn't help his form, and he just didn't seem like the right choice for Roberto Martinez at the time. But at 22, he's a really, really good player, and he was definitely a standout player in Leicester's team last season. And I think if we can get him into the squad, I think he will be a bit more expensive than Gomes and Perez, because he's that bit younger and he has amazing potential, and because there's just so many teams looking into signing him that will allow Monaco to just push up the price that bit more. But if we bring him in, I mean, again, same as Gomes, adding that depth, that quality, the experience, even though he's so young, into the midfield, I mean, it can only be good, really. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share the video.